welcome to another day, and I've got a cheeky little e-spawn today, so lovely jabbly, don't mind a bit of that. There was a rumour I might end up going from e-spawn to Wellingborough, but I don't think so. I have a feeling that won't occur. I'm in the same unit I was in yesterday. Yay! So I must remember to mark off the damage on the door on the old scratch and dent sheet. Always mark off damage that's significant. I mean, if it's old marks, you know, and it's quite obvious that it's an old mark, it's been there for a while, that kind of thing. I tend to write old marks, all old marks. But if I get a vehicle, like I got this one yesterday and it had the passenger door stoved in, I mark those. Because you do not want things like that getting blamed on you. Because it's far easier to blame the agency guy. Nobody ever seems to argue when they say, oh well, it must have been the agency guy. You know, nobody ever argues with that. So always, 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 always mark it off. Otherwise, you could find yourself not getting any more shifts and thinking, well, why? Why don't they want me back? And then you phone your agency and your agency say, oh, because you didn't report the damage that you caused. And it doesn't matter how many times you say, oh, it was already there, they will not believe you. They just won't. That is the voice of experience. So, always bear that in mind. Especially if you're new. But anyway, I suppose what I should do is make it look at least like I'm working. There we go. That's a driver, that's working. No, seriously, I better crack on, go find my trailer. I've got to clear all the bug squash off. And some of that was me that caused that. Especially that one right there. So I'm going to go clear off some bug squash and find my trailer and go to e-spawn. So, I shall see you at e-spawn. that's that delivery finally done. Lovely jolly. Have me break, phone up, find out if I'm going straight back. Probably I will be. Oh dear. Ever been somewhere for a couple of hours and you just sit there and you think, oh, oh joy. Oh well. It is what it is. They're changing all the racking round in the warehouse at the moment, so it's just one of those things, you know, you turn up and they're, oh, got to move this, got to move that. They've got pallets of old shelf racking and stuff like that, and having some kind of deep clean or something in the warehouse, I think. I don't know. But that's the issue with a lot of warehouses. They store all the damaged stock as well as the stock they're going to put on the shelves, and after a while it's accumulated for so long, it either hasn't been thrown out or whatever's going to happen to it, and some of it starts leaking. Then of course you need to do a proper deep clean, don't you? It's the same with everywhere I've ever driven for, to be fair, when it comes to food stuff. Everywhere else I ever go to, and not just for this company but for every company, they've always got the stuff that's just sitting there, hasn't been dealt with yet. But just read somebody's comment about I should play a game called Spot the Costa Cup. Yeah, I do have quite a few of those. I'm not having one today. I've decided not to have a Costa today. Just be thankful that there isn't Tim Hortons in this country. Otherwise it'd be Tim Hortons all over the place. Oh dear. It's all fun and games. All fun and games. No, the drive down here was easy. It's never that difficult. I can use the 22, because obviously, as a lot of you guys know, I tend to, whenever I go to Eastbourne, I tend to go over the Dartford crossing, or the Dartford Bridge. It depends on which area is supposedly free flowing according to the Google app. And if you go the Dartford way, you can actually get off at the junction before the M23, so you go down the A22, and that'll bring you all the way into Eastbourne. I mean, it's even signed from the M25 as Eastbourne, but I never use it. I always go to the 23 and down that way. You get better average economy, and there is virtually, where I am at the moment, there is virtually no difference in time. And most companies want better fuel economy. Obviously, if you're going to get really good fuel economy, but it's going to add something like 200 kilometres to your day, or something insane, then yeah, don't do that. But if one way, because of the stops and starts and the slower roads and things like that, is going to take you the same amount of time, but you're going to be able to average a better speed going the slightly longer way, you're going to get better economy. So that's why I do that. If anybody's curious, because I know somebody somewhere is going to go, why don't you use your 22? I don't, because I get better economy going than 23. Oh dear. Just one of those days today, I suppose. Oh yeah, the Saxon's got beaten up by something. One of the cats we've got, you see him walking around all the time. You very rarely see the other one. He's the white and ginger. He's had his tail pulled. He's got teeth marks in his tail and it's been pulled quite severely. And this morning when my other half got up, he screamed a little bit when she went to move him. So she buggered off down the vets. I didn't know, I was asleep, I wasn't told this until I got up. But she went off down the vets, and yeah, he's still got feeling in his tail, and it's not dislocated or beyond fixing. But he's going to be a bit painful for a few days, and he's hiding under the main bed. Because we've got 2 bedrooms, and one's main bed, which is this super king sleigh thing I've got. And then you've got the spare bed in the spare room, and he always hides under the sleigh bed because it's a solid wood. And we've put it up against the wall, and it kind of bows like that. And he jumps up onto the bedside table, gets into the gap, that's it, you can't get to him. You can pull the drawers out, you can try all you want, but you can't get to him. And that bed is way too heavy to lift, and he knows it. So he goes and hides under there whenever he's scared or in pain or something like that. So But yes, he's been through the wars at the moment. But where we live, there's a stables not too far away, and they've got a few feral cats. Now, as a general rule, you see, Saxon is just over a year old now, and we got him 8 months ago, I think, something like that. Was it 8 months? 8 or 9 months ago, whatever. And he's been venturing around other gardens and hiding under cars. But I think recently he's discovered the horse stables because he keeps bringing mice back. And our other cat, Aston, who died, he used to bring mice back all the time, and he used to get into fights all the time. And I think there's a few feral cats in that horse yard, and I think he's discovered one of them, and he wasn't expecting it to be a feral cat, because all the cats he generally deals with from the house, they're all domesticated ones, they all live wherever, and there's a little bit of a cat fight, a little bit of a scuff, but nothing major. Whereas when you get a domesticated cat meet a feral cat, it's a bit different, because they really do hunt in packs, so to speak. And I think he's bumped into one or two of them and not been able to get away. But there we go. That's the joys of owning a cat and allowing the cat out at night. But the female one we've got, the little one, Cleo, she's dinky. She is really tiny. She was the runt, quite clearly. She doesn't really leave the back garden. She goes into the back garden, maybe goes around in the front, comes back, goes in, sleeps on the bed all day. That's all she does. Because just after we moved, we used to live with Bert's parents for a while, and that's when we got Saxon and Cleo, brother and sister. Not Saxon, Aston and Cleo, sorry, brother and sister. And they used to go in there and everywhere and wander up and down the. There was old railway line that turned into a bridle path just out the back, and I used to go up and down that. It was fine. Well, of course, then we moved to where we live now, and there's a lot of established cats around that way, plus obviously the feral cats that are going to be at the horse stables and the farms around the way. And when we first let them out, she went for a wander and got bullied hard. And she started getting chased by a couple of cats all the way back, and they were even coming into our house to go get her. And so now she very rarely, if ever, actually leaves the confines of the property or next door's garden. And that's about as far as she goes. Whereas Saxon, he's starting to venture out because he's that age. He's starting to wander out and see what else is above the horizon. And where we are, what's above the horizon, they're a bit tasty. They'll have a bit of a ruckus. See, this was the thing with Aston, the dead one. He didn't mind having a bit of a fight. He was a bit of a feisty cat. He'd actually go out of his way and bully all the cats locally. For example, I remember once Cleo was getting chased by this big fat white bastard cat that's round our way. And she came in and the cat chased her in. It was about 2 AM in the morning. I came flying through the kitchen window, because we used to leave the kitchen window open. Now we leave the front window open, because for some reason the local cats don't go in through the front window. They only ever come in through the kitchen one, so we just swap windows. But anyway, she came flying in, chased by this cat. And then Aston realised what was going on, appeared and beat the crap out of this white cat. He just literally launched himself off the sofa straight on top of this white cat. The cat didn't know which way was up and barely got out alive. I mean, Aston, had clumps of white in all of his claws. He was he was a fighter, but it got him injured, infection, and well, dehydration, infection. Probably ate something he shouldn't have done, and that was him. But Saxon's starting to venture now, and he's going to meet the ferals, and he's going to get bullied. So I think for a while he's not going to venture very far. But you see, Cleo and Aston, they were strays. They were very young kittens, and Bert's sister, on the estate she used to live on, these two kittens wandered into her back garden, and then into her outhouse, a kind of shed come where she put the washing machine, all that kind of stuff. And they stayed in there, and she used to give them tidbits, and they didn't really. They just kind of stayed there, but she didn't want to have cats, so she asked Bert if we wanted them, and of course Bert wanted cats, and so we went to get Cleo. But of course Aston came wandering in, and that was it. We got him as well, and that's how that was. But they were born into being self-sufficient. They were born into being left alone. So for about the first 6 months or so of their lives, they were on their own. So they're used to that kind of. Whereas Saxon isn't. He's always been an indoor cat, and so he's going to get bullied hard. Well, I say indoor. He does go out, but he doesn't go out, if that makes sense. But he's going to get bullied hard. And he's learning. He's starting to learn. But anyway, there we go. That's the joys of my day when I woke up. Loads of various messages. Oh, he's squealing, he's been hurt. Oh, great. We've had a urinary infection in Cleo that's 200 and... oh, I don't remember. It was over 200 quid. And now we've had this one. God knows what that is. It's just genius, isn't it? Wonderful. Oh dear. But there we go. Cat ownership. If anyone's watching, get a bloody dog. Just get a dog. If anyone's curious, I'm a dog person, not a cat person. But Bert is a cat person. And for any guys out there who aren't in full-time relationships, whatever you are, you know, what you're into, all that kind, just forget it. Alright, enjoy it now. But once you get with your missus, that's it. It's over, it's done. She's a cat person, you're a cat person. You know, she becomes a vegetarian, you become a vegetarian. She wants a nice red car, you get a nice red car. She wants a people carrier, you get a people carrier. Just remember that. But anyway, I suppose I've dragged this one on too long, as per normal. So I shall most likely see you in the next one, which is tomorrow. It's 1300, so I've got some time today. Go home, edit this. I've got yesterday's one all ready to go. Oh yeah, I've got to download all that stuff Simon sent me. Oh, might as well print all that out, have a read through. That's going to be my evening. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share about, do whatever it is you usually do. I'll see you in the next one, which is tomorrow. 1300 start. Wonderful. Suppose I better head back.